And what is the role of human beings with awareness? Why does awareness even need human beings? Why does it want human beings?
But you, in this question, you kind of make the implicit assumption that you are a human being.
Well, to a certain degree. To a certain degree. I'm using that word. I'm using that word.
Yeah, but the question is, when you make the assumption to be a human being, are you still the awareness or are you the human being?
I'm the awareness. I just picked that word because I didn't want to say awareness.
So you cannot make the assumption that if you say, okay, I am the awareness before I am a human being. You cannot identify the awareness you know to be with the human being that appears to you without some supporting evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for instance, this computer is appearing to me,
mm-hmm.
but I'm not identifying with the
Right.
computer. I am the awareness to which the computer appears.
Right.
Similarly, my body appears to me in various shapes and forms. In the mirror, when I'm hungry, thirsty, pleasure, pain, etc. So it appears to me just like the computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
In both cases, I am that to which things appear. I'm not that which appears. So why is it that I don't identify with the computer, I identify with the human body?
Convention would be the only reason.
Yeah, we have inherited that from culture or from
cultural
our
convention.
parents, etc. But that doesn't make it true, because we may have inherited the flat Earth theory,
right.
or the unmoving Earth theory, or the sun rotating around the Earth theory, etc. That doesn't make those theories true, right?
Right. So maybe by reading this book and believing that it was possible and true, and people have been doing it for, I don't know, hundreds of years, maybe I just swallowed that belief system and imagined all that.
Every time we read a book, and in this book, what is presented to us is us as a human being achieving something, acquiring something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It kind of perpetuates the belief system that we are a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes us less likely to challenge, to investigate this belief, the truth of it.
Mm-hmm.
So here we only investigate the truth of that belief to be a human body. And we know that we are consciousness. That we know because you are the one hearing these words. That's you. It's not somebody else. So that's the point of departure, and it's an experiential one, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know that we are consciousness from direct experience, not from hearsay. Right? So, I mean, that seemed, what I've just said was very fast. But it's very important, because what is the experience through which we know that we are conscious? It's a very important experience.
What is the experience?
Yeah, because I said we know that we are conscious, and we don't know it from hearsay.
Right.
Therefore, or we don't know it from inference.
Right.
So the only remaining possibility is that we know it from direct experience.
Right.
Right? But it's a very different kind of experience than the experience through which we know the computer,
mm-hmm.
or the experience through which we know a feeling or a bodily sensation or a thought.
Mm-hmm.
So this experience through which we know that we are conscious is a very special one. Physicists, they would call that, or mathematician, a singularity.
A singular?
Singularity. You know, it's a
Singularity.
singularity in the field of our experience. There is this kind of experience which is unlike any other kind of experience.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit like the blind spot in the retina.
Mm.
You know, it's a singularity there also. So, nevertheless, we know that we are conscious from direct experience. And for instance, if I say, I am aware of this computer, what this experience is telling me is that there is a computer there, right? If I say, I am aware that I am of being aware of the computer, it's a different kind of experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that which I am aware of is not the computer, but is my awareness of the computer. So you would agree that these two formulations refer to two different experiences, right?
Right.
So the former is normal phenomenal experience, but the latter, I am aware of being aware of the computer, comes from a different, comes to us through a different channel. The point I'm making is we have to be open to the possibility that there is a different channel of knowledge through which we can know things, stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is different from the usual channel.
Mm-hmm.
The usual channel is what I call the phenomenal channel, through which we know, in fact, three types of mentations: thoughts and images in the mind, bodily sensations, feelings, but bodily sensations, and external sense perceptions, right? Three. It is not through one of these three channels that we know that we are conscious.
Mm.
So it's a different channel. Now, if you wonder, if you ask yourself the question, how long does it take for me to know that I am conscious?
How long?
How long?
No time.
No time, right? It's different from knowing an object. Knowing an object is a kind of knowledge that elapses in time. It's more like a video. It's not like a photograph, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a still frame. But this knowledge through which, this channel through which we derive the knowledge that we are conscious seems to be instantaneous. We cannot grasp it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a noticeable difference with phenomenal knowledge. There is another important difference, is that it is absolutely certain. If I were to tell you, you are not conscious in this moment. If I were to tell you, you are not conscious.
Right.
Right?
Say,
You would just laugh it out, right?
you should see a doctor.
Right? But let's assume this scene here happens during your night dream.
Mm.
And you have this dream guru, or this dreamed guru, telling you, you are not conscious in this moment.
Mm.
What would you say?
Well, I'd say it's,
You would still be conscious, right?
yeah, I would say it's a dream. But I just thought,
No, don't go that far.
I saw another
In
possible.
your dream, he's telling you are not conscious. The question is he telling you the truth or not?
If the dream is saying, I'm not conscious, is it telling the truth?
The guru in the dream,
The guru in the dream.
who is telling you are not conscious, as an experiment.
No.
Not. Obviously, you are conscious.
Yes.
Even if the guru is bogus,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Nevertheless, your consciousness is true,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So, that's very different from phenomenal knowledge. Because even if that which is appearing in consciousness is bogus, the consciousness of it is not. So that you are 100% certain to be conscious at every moment, whereas that which you are conscious of, there is a margin of uncertainty attached to it.
A margin of what?
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty.
Are you following me?
Yeah, I think so. But I was just wondering if there might be another explanation rather than the way I said it. Because, like I said, I woke up yesterday and going, well, wait a second, I should question this, because how can I believe this, even though it seems to be true? So here, just now I saw another explanation. When you're in deep meditation, where there's no thinking going on and there's no reactions going on, and it's just pure, you're aware, but you're relaxed and open. That's a special place. So maybe that's what I'm waking up to, is that's what's there before the mind and everything else that makes up the body-mind kicks in. Maybe that's what I've been accessing.
Yeah, but if you go to a special place, you have to go back from it at some point. You see what I mean? Because it's a state.
Yeah.
It's a state. And a state has something artificial to it. In other words, a state is manufactured by something. You can smoke a big joint, or you can do pranayama for one lifetime.
Neither one.
Joint is faster. And then you reach a special state. But the effect of whatever you have done wears off, and then you are back to your usual condition.
But are you also saying the state, if we can call it that, when meditation, sometimes, at meditation, not always, but sometimes during meditation, I reach a very deeply peaceful, relaxed state that is just so pleasant, and there's really nothing usually going on.
Yeah.
But it's just there's something pleasant about it. It's so silent, so
yeah, but has it come
restful.
to... But have you thought about this possibility that what is pleasant to it and the phenomenal qualities of the state may be separated? In other words, that you can have the same pleasantness without having thought at the same time. Because what you mentioned is a state when there are no thoughts, or little, small...
No thoughts.
No thoughts. Well...
No thoughts, no feelings, no nothing.
Well, then if you make this state dependent upon the absence of thought, then it's artificial, because next moment your wife asks you a question, you need to answer the question, and then you need to think to answer the question, and then your happiness goes down the drain.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
That's happened.
So...
Say, please, I was meditating. You leave me alone.
So, a happiness that comes and goes is a little bit like a big piece of chocolate. You see, but if we are open to the possibility, you see, what happens often is that we desire something. And when the thing we have been desiring is obtained, we experience fleetingly some happiness. But we usually attribute the happiness to the acquired object or event. But there is another possibility, is that the happiness can be attributed to the desireless state that was experienced for a short moment.
Mhm.
Now, once we understand that, if we try to understand the mechanisms of desire and fear, and if we can liberate ourselves from desire and fear, then we can be established in the desireless state. You see, which is a very different thing from trying to meditate or trying to do something in order to reach a state which is not going to last.
Mhm. Yeah. And I don't chase states, and I haven't chased states. And
Yeah, but we have to understand.
as far as I know, but this
Yeah.
thing seemed to just be there, and it seemed like I just discovered it and
But when we meditate,
lasts for a few seconds.
why not allow thinking? You see, why not allow whatever arises?
Oh, I do.
You
I
see?
do. That's a good meditation.
And then
Yeah.
you can be very happy and at peace thinking. And then why not allow for the body to move? You can be very happy and at peace
Mhm.
while running for a drop shot playing tennis.
Mhm.
You can be very happy in your run,
Yes.
although the body is.
Yeah, and I agree with, I was reading at the break, I was reading one of your books that I've read before, and it was saying, you know, a good goal, if you want to have a goal, is to be able to be happy, at peace, no matter what's going on.
Yeah.
Even if things are going bad, even if you're feeling bad, if your body feels bad, your mind's full of thoughts. And of course, that's, you know, that's the, if there's the ultimate, that's the ultimate. And,
We are happy to the extent that we are not bugged by the thought, the belief, or the feeling to be a human being, to be a separate entity.
Mhm.
So the to be separate. And in order to reach that condition, we have to investigate what makes us believe otherwise, believe that we are a limited consciousness or a limited being. Because after all, you know, in this universe, everything is interconnected.
Yes.
So there is no isolated system in this
No.
universe, really.
No.
Because at the deepest level, everything is interconnected.
Yeah.
Is interconnected through time, throughout
Space.
and
There's only
throughout,
one
and
space.
throughout space. Yes.
One space, one time, right here, right now.
Throughout space, throughout time, everything is interconnected.
Yes.
So then, every isolated system is a figment of our imagination somehow. It may be
Yes.
useful to create a computer. A computer, to a certain extent, is an isolated system, and it communicates through these two wires here with the external world plus the Wi-Fi. And but that's not completely true, because every particle here that this metal is made of is dancing with all the particles in the universe. So it is not really isolated.
Mm-hmm.
So that an isolated human being is also a figment of our imagination.
Yes.
Ultimately, it is the universe which is aware through us.
Mm-hmm.
You see, or the totality.
Now, what you just said, ultimately it's the universe that is aware through us. What is the us?
In this case, the us is the body-mind, yes, the body.
Ah, so the universe needs the body-mind?
It doesn't need
benefits?
it.
It doesn't need it, but it likes it? Or
It doesn't need it. It
it
creates it.
invented it, right?
It's just, I don't need my racket, but I use it when I play tennis.
Works better that way.
I can live without it.
Not
Or
very
or
well.
my flute. I mean,
Not very
or
well.
my
I tried
car.
It's called handball.
So the universe creates the tools of celebration, yes, and the human body is a tool of celebration,
Oh,
among many others.
Is that why we're here?
Yeah, also. Isn't it fun?
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes sense because the universe created so many things like the Earth, but it was sitting there, volcanoes going off, and some microbes in an ocean. And I think it wanted more, so it made animals and dinosaurs, and then it said, okay, that's fun, but it's kept going until it created human beings. And of course, we were kind of stupid, and we haven't advanced too far, but we seem to make sometimes a little progress. And it makes life more interesting.
But in your case, what I think what is essential is to ask yourself the question: if I try to discover consciousness, what is it? Who is going to be aware of consciousness, if not already consciousness? In other words, I am already that which I am seeking.
Yeah. But I've heard people say, well, consciousness wants to know itself, but then I go, but how can it? I mean, how can it stand outside of itself to know itself? Or, there's something I'm not seeing.
It cannot stand outside of itself, really, but it can allegedly stand outside of itself by deciding to identify with the human body-mind.
That's how it does it?
Yeah. You must have decided to identify with the human body-mind. Why? Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that you must have made this decision at some point? Because
yes, why?
The reason why I'm saying that is because there is no evidence. And there has never been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So since you identify, or since we identify with the human body-mind, and since there is no compelling evidence for such identification, then it must be a choice we have made at some point.
So the we, though.
We as consciousness.
We as consciousness.
Yes. We don't necessarily remember. We don't remember many choices we have made. Many things we believe we have made very early on, we don't remember. But because there is no compelling evidence that we, consciousness, are this body-mind, we must have made this identification, which was purely gratuitous. Gratuitous meaning without supporting evidence at some point.
But if it doesn't stand up, you think it would be smarter, consciousness would be smarter than that.
Well, no, because we have decided to play this game. It's very important.
It's very important.
It's like in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
You have the gentleman, they know that the serial killer is in the house, or they suppose the serial killer is in the house. And they go and they push the door open, right? And it's not locked. They had left it locked. And what do? They have their cell phone. Instead of getting the hell out of there and calling the cops, they enter and they get killed. Right?
Something like that.
How often does it happen in Hollywood? Every time. Every time it happens.
Yeah.
We all know that, right?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
No.
No. Would you do that?
No.
No. Right? You would call the cops.
Right.
But if they call the cops, right? The cops arrive, and the SWAT team comes, they kill the guy, it's over. There is no movie, right? So in order to have a movie, you need a big mistake.
You need an interesting
right?
plot.
And
yeah.
it's the same here.
Right.
To have this movie, you need a big mistake at the inception of the movie.
Mm-hmm. But talking about evidence, when I look at my life, I look at other people's lives, my children, people around me, I see people being conditioned by the world, by the parents, by the society, being conditioned into believing themselves to be a separate object. And they don't seem, to me, to ever be making a choice. In fact, they're choiceless. They're
I just showed
helpless.
to you that they must have at some point.
I don't know. It doesn't, I don't know.
If if there is no supporting evidence,
Okay. I get
if you
that part.
believe something, you must have begun believing at some point.
I get that part. I get that part. Okay. But, okay. I get that part, but it seems like, but why? See, like you were believing yourself.
It's like if you see, let's assume you see a chicken.
A chicken.
A chicken. And if I see a chicken, I say, well, there used to be an egg.
An egg?
An egg.
Egg. Egg, yeah, yeah. The chicken or the egg?
Right? There must have been an egg.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
It's the same here.
Unless it was a duck egg.
If I see a belief,
yes.
there must have been a moment when a belief without any substantiating.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I understand the explanation was great, but logically, I ask, why would consciousness want to invent a separate self who does nothing but suffer and run from life and so forth, when it can just be itself?
Why do you watch movies?
I don't watch those kind of movies.
But most people do.
I don't.
Well,
I watch comedy, that's all. And some educational things, but I don't watch all those silly movies.
Yeah, but even in comedies, people suffer.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at least they have fun while they do it.
The only difference is the resolution of the suffering in the comedy, right?
Yes. Yes.
It's a kind of happy ending because it turns out to be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But which is an enlightened way of looking at things. But nevertheless, you watch it.
Okay. I think I got my answer in there somewhere a couple of times.